Hey everybody, welcome to the Shadowmane Show. I'm Jason Campbell from Shadowmane.com. Shadowmane.com, I'm sure you know, you read every week our articles on role-playing games, any kind of games, all kinds of fun. Every week we come on and talk about the subject of the week here in our YouTube channel. You can get more details by reading the blog, shadowmane.com, where we have a complete guest interviews and comments and all kinds of commentary. Our topic this week is Mega Dungeons. What do you think? Yes? No? Mega Dungeons go back to before the beginning of the hobby, before there really was a Dungeons and Dragons, back in the chainmail days. Dave Arneson had started his campaign called Blackmoor, started in Blackmoor Castle. Then he started to let his players explore the dungeons below the castle, and they loved that. Pretty soon he was building more and more levels, deeper and deeper. Gary Gygax took this idea for his version, which eventually became Dungeons and Dragons, the combination of Dave's ideas, Gary's ideas. And Gary had his own Castle Greyhawk, again with eventually 30 levels, reportedly, of Castle Greyhawk. Ever since then, we've been dealing with these gigantic mega dungeons. Explorers live their 1st through 20th, 36th levels of life, almost entirely in a dungeons. We can see this in today, where we have Dungeons of the Mad Mage, another example from Wizards of the Coast, where we have mega dungeons. What do you think about this? Let's go to our community, where we can read some quotes and see what other people think. Just a reminder, if you want to join our community, you can join our Discord. You can join up for our private email list. Either way, send us an email at shadowmanerpg@gmail.com. We'll get you connected to the community, where we post the topics in advance. You can discuss it with all our friends. And some of the quotes will make it to the show. Most of the quotes will be expanded. You can read the full quotes, all the discussion in our blog. Let's get to our first quote, though. Our first quote comes from Gamer Mom Luna, who said, "I actually don't mind mega dungeons or doing a good dungeon crawl. While I appreciate the nuance of lots of the gameplay, sometimes I like just the basics of exploring and fighting." I think that's a pretty solid opinion. That's pretty much what we're going to find with a lot of folks, that they're into the dungeon exploration, as in, ooh, what's that thing? My character goes and figures it out, probably gets attacked by something ugly. It's a lot of what the game's about, right? Let's see our next quote from our friend Mama Strange, who said, "I haven't played one, but it might be hard to remain interested after a while. If someone proposed 3 ideas, that would not be my selection. And I started out in the 70s, but I quit and went back to it 5 years ago. I had asked some folks in my community, when did you start? I'm curious here. If you like mega dungeons, if you hate mega dungeons, are you a grognard? Are you old? Have you been playing forever like me? No, maybe you just started during COVID. I'm wondering if that affects our opinions here. This is what I worry about when I was running mega dungeons as a dungeon master, game master. Would my party get bored? Some folks will say no, you just have to make the dungeon a living thing. Let's move on to our next quote. The Merlitron says, "I think it makes much more sense for the mega dungeon to be a geographical area, which may provide a lot more variety in terms of terrain and resolves the problem of treading over the same ground frequently. The same thing becoming repetitive." Right? We were just talking about this. Maybe your mega dungeon isn't room after room after room. Open this door, 20 by 20 room. Open this door, 20 by 20 room. Maybe there's a whole caverns that are entire ecosystems, cities down there. Maybe there's an alien civilization, right? If we expand our mind, maybe we can remove the potential boredom. Let's see what our friend Crazy Weasel Gaming says. I've read a mega dungeon setting where the entire setting was a dungeon built under an island and the town on the lakeshore. The idea of PCs discovering new entrances and exits and allowing them to return to specific sections of the dungeon were cool. This is something that comes up a lot. Are the PCs stuck in the dungeon? Do they have to spend every night, when all their downtime, all their rest in the dungeon? Can they come and go? And consequences being what they are, if they come and go, what's happened to the folks who are the denizens of our dungeon? Another quote from our friend Keybounce, who says, I do like how it happened in the Paris arc of Girl Genius. Pause for a second. Keybounce got me here. I had to look this up. Girl Genius, a pretty cool online comic. He says, yes, there's all these underground civilizations all next to each other, all their politics, the occasional breach to the surface, and the master of Paris shoots them back. That sounds pretty cool. That's a bunch of good quotes here. I could see the discussion. It makes sense to me. I always worry as a GM that my players will have that boredom. And I think it is a question of maybe we just make it not open the door, there's a 20 by 20 room. It's got to be different. Maybe you open the door and this room is the inside of a purple worm, right? Just the craziest thing we can think of. But I should say that I don't think mega dungeons are a bad thing. We saw some people who loved them, some people who said maybe under certain circumstances. But this past spring, 2026, there was a lot of mega dungeons that funded on BackerKit. A whole bunch of people. Monty Cook was involved. I think some other publishers were involved, and a lot of independent people had their own versions of mega dungeons, and most of these, I think, succeeded. That's great. So it means there's a lot of interest out there. Let us know what you think about mega dungeons in the comments, and we will see you next week. Remember, if you want to be part of the community, comment below. That's great. Send me an email, shadowmainrpg@gmail.com. You can get on our private email list. You can join our Discord server. If you want to follow me on any of the socials, we're just Shadowmain. Go check it out. Let us know what's going on. Shadowmain, we're here to talk about any kind of opinions. Famous designers, paid dungeon masters, actual play people. You who just got your first set of D&D last week and are just trying to figure out the rules, and everybody in between. Our motto is that every opinion is important. All right, we'll see you next week.